We are passing through extreme hot days. The weather is very hot. So, the very first thing we all need to do is to take healthy precautions and look after the health and safeguard the health. In cold weathers and in hot weathers, we should try to find out how the cold weather affects our health and how the hot weather affects our health. And thereafter take precautions. Because this body does not belong to us, it belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is a trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has entrusted us with. So it's like me passing or handing over my telephone to somebody or watch to somebody or glasses to somebody whilst I'm performing wudu. And if I say to him that please look after this for a while. So it's in his possession, but it is not his, it is mine. So he has to look after it. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this body, and part of the body is health, as amana, as a trust. So it's in our possession at the moment, but it's not ours. It's Allah's, so we have to look after it. So, health consciousness is very important in Islam. And if a person's health is good, then he will be a strong person. And if a person's health is not good, then he will not be a strong person. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Al-mu'minu al-qawiyyu ahabbu ila Allahi min al-mu'min al-dha'if. A strong believer is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than a weak mu'min. So we need to look after our health, especially the young boys and young girls, because they are more healthier and more fitter and more vigorous and more stronger than the older generation. They feel nothing can affect us. We all need to take precautions. So, follow the important tips given to us by the doctors and the health professionals in regard to the hot days and also the cold days. So that is number one. Number two, the second thing we need to ponder over is that this heat that we are experiencing, many of us cannot tolerate it. And during the time of our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi wa sallam, the Sahaba Kiram Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in, as a group left Madinah Munawwara for an expedition, and the hypocrites, trying to discourage the believers from taking part in this expedition, said, La tanfiru fil har. It's very hot, don't go out in this heat. It will be a very difficult journey. It's summer, it's very hot, June, July. Don't go out in this heat. Take part in another expedition later on. You don't have to go and take part in this expedition. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned their statement in the Quran that these people say, La tanfiru fil har, do not go out in this heat. Qul, O my Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, say, Naru jahannama ashaddu harra. The fire of Jahannam is even more hotter. So what will you do then? So, this hot season should remind us of the heat of the day of Qiyamah. It should remind us of the heat of the fire of Jahannam. It is for this reason during extreme hot weathers, our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us to read this dua. La ilaha illallah ma ashadda harra hadha al-yawm. La ilaha illallah. There is no one worthy of worship except Allah. Ma ashadda harra hadha al-yawm. The heat of this day is very, very intense. And thereafter, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us to seek refuge from the fire of Jahannam. Allahumma ajirni min harri Jahannam. Allahumma ajirni min harri Jahannam. Oh Allah, save me from the heat of Jahannam. So, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is a great teacher. There is no teacher better than Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So whilst teaching us to save ourselves from the fire of Jahannam through this dua, La ilaha illallah ma ashadda harra hadha al-yawm. It's very, very hot today. Allahumma ajirni min harri Jahannam. Oh Allah, grant me safety from the heat of Jahannam. Whilst directing us towards a method to save ourselves from the heat of Jahannam, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is also directing our attention to this fact that the heat that you are experiencing in this world is nothing in comparison to the heat that you will experience in the hereafter. So make preparation for the hereafter. All the sacrifices that we exert in this world are to save ourselves from the heat of the fire of Jahannam. During hot weathers, I feel very exhausted. And I feel very inconvenienced. I am a person who likes winter more than summer. We all have our own different natures. So I also try to remind myself that if you cannot tolerate these a few days of summer, how will you tolerate the fire of Jahannam? How will you tolerate the heat on the day of judgment? So in hot weathers, number one, we look after our health because it is amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two, we reflect. If I am unable to tolerate this heat, how will I tolerate the heat of Jahannam? And number three, we should try our utmost to provide water for people according to our abilities. If we live in a home in front of which many people pass by, and we know that there are no shops nearby and people will not be able to buy water, then we should set up a table with a gallon of water, a few plastic cups, and we should write a notice, drinking water, please help yourself. And in this day and age, it's very easy. You can put small bottles of water. They don't cost much. And tell people that, give them the opportunity. Because we will be quenching the thirst of our Muslim brothers, our human brothers, and at the same time we will be acquiring the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our beloved Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam has said in a hadith, there is no sadaqah more rewarding than providing water. There is no sadaqah more rewarding than providing water. Water for humans, water for Muslims, non-Muslims, water for rich, water for poor, water for animals.